Hi, I'm Tony Bray from Jazz Apps Mobile, and basically want to talk to you about the minor 2-5. The minor 2-5 is one of those progressions that's very, very common in the jazz language, and it's often something that we have to contend with even early on as a new improviser. For example, blue bossa. We've got even as a new player, that's one of the first songs we learn, and we're sitting at a half diminished chord going to an altered 5 right in the progression, and naturally things you do is panic. Over the years, as you play, you'll find several different ways to approach these. There's Jamie Aebersold and the Aebersold books, and also David Baker. They used a particular scale for each change, the sharp 2 low Korean. Those musicians that know the forms of melodic minor will often think of 2 scales built over melodic minor, and there's even a way you could approach this where you're using a form of the harmonic minor. In this approach that we use in iImprov minor 2-5, we choose to use something that's basically kind of out of the George Russell School and Jerry Coker, their approach to this. And it uses the Lydian Augmented scale. It's one of those scales that's easy to learn because as an earlier improviser, you're probably still struggling with your major scales, and you haven't necessarily learned forms of minor yet. So this is a great way to approach these changes because you're just simply altering the major scale. And what you're doing is you're raising the 4th and the 5th. Like for in concert B flat, here's my major scale. If I raise the 4th and the 5th, it'll sound like this. And we've got the Lydian Augmented scale. This has other uses as well, but for this specific progression, you'll use it in 2 different ways. On the flat 5 of a minor 2-5 progression, where you're playing the minor 2 flat 5 or half diminished, you're going to play it from the flat 5 of the chord. So, for example, in concert D, I would play a flat Lydian Augmented. It would sound like this. And as you practice your scales, it's fun to practice them with the play-alongs, and so you're not just running them straight up and down. Make up lines. Play along with the scales so you get comfortable. In the app, we'll show you how to a specific order to practice these. They're good to practice in minor thirds, and the reason being is on the 5 chord, you're going to play a Lydian Augmented from the 3rd. So in the case of our D half diminished going to G altered, we'll be playing the concert B Lydian Augmented from the 5 chord. So it's like this. So in the iImprov minor 2-5 app, what we've done is we're breaking it up so you can practice just the 5 chord, then you can practice the 2 chord on its own, the 5 chord on its own, or you can practice the 2 back to back. You want to check that out, and to make this brief, I'm going to jump right into the play along where we've got them playing back to back, and I'll show you how what it would sound like to string these 2 chords together. Actually, that's what I'm going to do if I get to it. There we go. So basically that's 2 Lydian Augmented that are a minor third apart. And as you spend time with the app, the iImprov minor 2-5, then there's different ways to practice those that you'll eventually become comfortable with those. They're not so scary in the end. Happy practicing.